We'll go to the first question with James from the Cougars. James, go ahead.
Yeah, Kelvin, could you just talk about the job Jamal did tonight distributing the ball with 11 assists, no turnovers?
Well, that's a statistic. I don't focus on statistics. I like the way he ran the team. The way he ran the team and as a field general is far more important than a statistic. You're not doing kids a you're actually doing them a disservice if you base their play on a statistic. For instance, I thought one of our best players tonight was Kyler. But if you don't know anything about basketball, you probably think he played poorly because he shot poorly. You can shoot poorly and play great. You can shoot great and play awful. I thought Kyler was really good tonight. The thing about I liked about Jamal is that he got Marcus some scouting report baskets because he knew that they were going to help off corners. So he called something, got Marcus in the corner, drove it from the slot, got the corner guy to suck in and kicked it out. That's more important than a stat. That's an assist. Well, let's say that Marcus didn't make the basket. But there's no assist. But it's still a great floor general. Great floor general, right? So I was more impressed with the way he thought the game tonight. He's come a long way in that respect. We started the season off. When we started, we had a scrimmage, and during that scrimmage, we ran out Marcus and Kyler and Tremont. Then after that, Tremont got hurt, so he was out, and that allowed, there's a silver lining, which isn't everything. We'll look for it. Allowed Jamal to get in there, and now, we play our best ball, not just best offense, it's point of attack too. The reason last year's team was so good on defense, I heard so much about Dejan, getting the conference defensive player of the year, and rightfully so. But you're always as good as your point of attack. Our point of attack last year on defense wasn't Dejan, it was Marcus. Marcus always guarded the other team's point guard. Dejan chased shooters and was always in passing lanes, and it was unbelievable using his length. But these guys aren't long. And neither was Corey and Galen. Neither was Hollis and Quantas. I've always had short guards. I never read a book where it had to be a certain size or a certain length. These two guys here are toughness. That makes up for a lot of sins when you know how to compete. And both these kids are. That's why I love coaching them. They're tough.
Chris?
Coach, how important is Tremont's ability to get to the line consistently? I think make him 7 for 7 tonight, 6 for 6 last game. Yeah. And what does that sort of add for you guys?
No, that's especially in the role that he's kind of evolving into. I get on Tremont sometimes about trying to put square pegs in round holes. Like tonight, he tried to split a gap other than just move it. He's getting better at that. Second half, he was much better. But guys that can play north and south usually get fouled. Marcus doesn't get fouled as much because Tremont's not as good a shooter as Marcus. And Marcus probably isn't as good a slasher as Tremont. But that's why you recruit. You recruit teams that fit. I'd like to think our teams fit. The most important thing that we do with our group is recruit kids that fit us, that fit a role, and we get them to buy in. And that starts with your leadership. We had a great leader tonight, and that was Marcus Sasser. When you have a great leader, and that fed over to Jamal. Jamal's going to be a captain in this program one day too. Marcus won't be here forever. Just like Damian went here forever, or Rob Gray, or Galen, Corey. They'll all move on to in their lives, and then it's up to the group behind them to learn from those guys. Marcus is setting a great example for Jamal. But Jamal's just a freshman. He's going to be around here 3 more years. You know, the next year, he'll be teaching somebody else. We have another group behind them. And that's why we talk about our culture all the time. But, you know, coaches establish culture, and then you make sure you have guys that will buy in.
Chris?
Jamal, what have you learned from Marcus, and has the game slowed down for you leading the offense?
I've learned a lot from Marcus. Just pace, playing with pace. I've learned how to get into gaps and find other people that some people can't do, and just playing hard all the time. He's a good leader with that. He doesn't say a lot, but he just leads by example. He's always playing hard. He almost had like 7 or 8 steals tonight, just playing hard, just playing defense. And I just had to feed off of that. And that's one thing that I really, really learned from Mark, just playing hard all the time.
Marcus, how do you feel this guard group's coming along, you know, now getting more time to play with Jamal, getting chemistry built up with Kyler, and adding Tremont in the past couple of weeks?
I feel like me getting our groove together, you know, Tremont, he's finally back. We got a full rotation with 5 of us. So I feel like every game, you know, just our chemistry is getting better. We know where each other like our shots, we know like our tendencies, and I feel like every game we just continue to get better as a group.
Kelvin, excuse me, going back to defense, the last 4 games you're converting about 30 points off of turnovers, and that's obviously something that you do. And then defensively, how important is that when you do get those turnovers, you guys are catching them into points?
Yeah, well, if you never watch us play and you were just to look at stats, you would assume we press or at least play some kind of extended defense. You know, but part of our the way we teach our kids how to defend is we shrink the floor. You know, our pickup point is almost right above the 3-point line. You never see us extend out half court. Certainly never see us press. You never see us trap. So the way we do it, you know, we've always been a team that protects the paint. You know, we usually have 1 or 2 things that we'll do to disrupt the other team's offense. Whether it's doubling the post, which we call our monster, and it's not easy to do. There's a lot of people that try to replicate that, but it's just not easy. You know, the problem with being good at something is you make it look easy, and therefore people take it for granted. I think the hardest thing to teach in basketball is defense. Hardest thing. That's why championship teams. That's why Georgia was so good in football this year. That's why Alabama was so good Saturday. That's why our football team was so improved, because our defense was better. You know, offense sells tickets. The defense and rebounding wins championships. You can't defend and rebound, you have no chance. Now look at the last game we played. We scored 111 points. Well, Tyler, wide open shots. When I say wide open shots, I'm talking wide open. You just missed them tonight. That's why don't worry about how many points you average. Defense. You know, that team won at UW Milwaukee. They were up 16 at Southern Illinois. You know, when the team beats somebody, it's automatically, you know, the people say, well, they're no good. Well, maybe there's a reason why they weren't tonight. You know, they were pretty good at Gonzaga. They were pretty good against UW Milwaukee. Check out those scores. Look at their score against Southern Illinois. You know, look at Bryant. You know, Bryant beat Brown. Brown lost to North Carolina 96-89. Well, Bryant beat him. But the night we beat him, you know, we conquered him. So it's not always as easy as it looks, you know. And there's some nights that the ball doesn't go in, and we preach that, you know. Or I didn't like the way we rebounded tonight, but I thought overall, our bigs were not very good tonight. I thought, except for Reggie. I thought Reggie was really good tonight instead of you know, Reggie's got almost a busted knuckle. You know, it's very painful. And as much as I can rest him, I will. But I didn't like our big's energy. But, you know, we have one leader on that floor tonight, and that was Marcus Sasser. And I thought our 3 guards, Kyler, that start line, our perimeter defense was just outstanding tonight, as it is most nights. Those guys really understand our system. They know how to guard coverages. They know our coverages. They know how to guard actions. They're smart and they're tough. And I have an appreciation for that.
Good time for a few more here. We'll go back to Chris.
Coach, just a few comments on Eracism and the church and meaning behind the organization.
Yeah, well, racism was founded off of John McClendon, who was a Hall of Fame coach at Tennessee State University. He also used to be basketball coach at Old North Carolina Central. He set up the basketball game, back during segregation. Black schools played black schools, white schools played white schools, Indian schools played Indian schools. That's just the way it was. But one Sunday morning before church, he set up a game between Duke's team, which was all white, and his North Carolina Central team, which was all black. And he was a revered coach. I think last year I got the John McClendon Award, which is probably the most impactful award I've ever received because of what it stood for. My father was a high school basketball coach for 33 years, somewhere around there, maybe more. But he played during segregation and coached during segregation. His first year as a basketball coach was 1953. The first time he ever coached against somebody that didn't look like him, i.e. a white person, was 1968. That's when segregation was. I remember segregation. I remember that clearly. So I'm proud to wear this Eracism shirt. We had so many traumatic and dramatic moments last summer during the George Floyd incident and then the ensuing aftermath of that. I would think, but racism hasn't gone anywhere. And any time as us as coaches can bring it up and have people thinking about it, provoke conversation, like the conversation we're having right now, Chris, I think is important to keep it in the forefront. But there's a committee on Eracism, and I'm part of that committee, and we pick out a game every year to wear these shirts. And, just like Coaches versus Cancer, we'll pick a game out used to we wore sneakers. Now I think the yellow shoelaces tonight was for Coaches versus pediatric cancer. That's what it was for. It was for the little ones in the pediatric hospital with cancer. So we have a wonderful platform, and it's a privilege to be able to get on our platform and help other people, which is so much bigger than the game we play.
Yes.
Marcus, coming into the year, did you sort of take it upon yourself to become more of a leader, knowing Quentin and Dejan were not going to be here anymore? And how did you sort of approach that?
Yeah, Quentin and Dejan, they did a good job, teaching me the ways of being a good leader. And coming in as my third year, I just knew it was my time. I was here freshman. I had Nate, Dejan, and Quentin. I was a sophomore. I had Dejan and Quentin again, and then, it's my time next. So coming in this summer, I just tried to do the things they taught me, which, is play hard, every practice, compete, lead by example. I feel like I'm doing a good job at that.
Do you think you've gotten better at it throughout the year?
Yeah, at first I wasn't, not vocal. I just, like Jamal said, led by example. But, as the year goes on, I'm getting more comfortable, talking to my teammate, telling them what to do, what not to do, and knowing how to talk to all of them. So, yeah.
Good time for one more. If you got it. Jay?
Yeah, Marcus, could you just describe Jamal's growth and what you've seen,
Yeah, he's getting really good, every day. I done went from guarding him to now we've been on the same team, which is, fun. I've been knew how good he was, having to guard him every day. I feel like he got me better, so us sharpening each other's irons. I've been knew how good he was. Now we're on the floor together, he's picking the defense apart. And then knowing I have another guard with me, that's a great on-ball defender, it's kind of easier. knowing like I don't have to help as much when he's on the ball. He knows he don't have to help as much when I'm on the ball. So his growth has been amazing. He's helping the team a lot.
All right. Coach, Marcus, Jamal.